How are you today?
I'm doing great. First off, before we get started, congratulations, new dad. How's it all going?
It's good. It's good. She's like a year and a half now. And it's funny, this film is like so wrapped up in the birth because I had, I'm sure I think it's been written about already, but I came home at midnight from shooting this film. They got me off set. They knew that we were sort of right in the zone. I think the due date was like the next day or the day after. So they got me off at, I got home at midnight and Troyan went into labor at about 4 a.m.
Good
So I
timing.
got home within like 4 hours to be there for the birth. So,
Oh, that's
uh,
amazing. That's so
yeah.
amazing. Well, congratulations. Listen, I'm a mom. My boys are older and everything, but just enjoy it because oh my God, does it go fast?
Yeah, I can already feel it. Our eldest is 4 now. She just turned 4 and she's like a person. It's crazy. It's happening
Right?
so
Yeah,
quickly.
it is
So,
crazy. Well, have
yeah.
fun with them both. That's awesome. I really, really love this film. It really, it's just lovely. There's so much going on, and I wanted to. I know it's based on Kate Hewlett's play, but I wanted to know when you first were approached, Patrick. You read the script, or maybe you knew about the play before. I don't know, but how did you connect with Simon? In what way?
Yeah, I didn't know about the play, and really, it had been years ago that I'd seen the script for the first time because it had been floating around for a while. I think they'd been trying to make the movie for quite a while, and there had been a few iterations where it had almost gone, and then like happens with these things, it didn't happen. And so
Yeah,
I had read the script, fallen in love with the script, wanted to engage, and was like, and I really at that point it would have been a few years earlier, so I was like, I love both these roles. I just want to be involved. And then it went away, and then when came time to actually make it, the script came back and I read it and I was like, guys, I've read this script. I know this script and I love this script. So is it happening for real? And then I got to, talk to Kate and talk to Lindsay, the director, and the
yeah.
producers, and it was very real because they had gotten Adelaide. And and I was like, let's go. The main thing that I needed, like the final linchpin, was to hear the music because
Right.
I've been in this business long enough to know that films that deal with music, if the music isn't good or compelling, it
Yeah.
takes you out of it. At least does for me. If I'm watching a film and it's supposed to, the music needs to move you. It needs to, and especially with this, where it's so integral to the movement of the story and to
Yeah.
her character in particular. It's like if the music doesn't work, this isn't going to work. And so they sent me the temp, and I listened to half a song, and I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, it works.
What Tim Williams does with the music is phenomenal. The lyrics are great, and then you throw on top of it Adelaide's performance and her voice. It was just a no brainer. So then I was just like, throw me in, coach. Whatever we
Yeah.
need.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, the music is really, really good. I agree with you on that. Tell me about a little bit about working with Adelaide. Man, is she ever lovely?
She's so talented. She's great. It's a lot. It is a lot to be the number one on a call sheet on a film. You don't just have to be insanely talented. You just have to have a really particular disposition. You have to like, you're there day in and day out. You're intertwined with the whole production, and that takes a very particular kind of person. And Adelaide just knocked every part of it out of the park. Her performance was beautiful. Her insight to this character, the things that she brought to it,
Mm,
that's a lot of it that was on the page, but a lot of it that wasn't, was just breathtaking. And she was such a collaborative artist. She wanted to. Um, I love working with people like that because you immediately can push each other. We don't know each other that well, but you sort of get over that hump of that comfort level, and it becomes, how can you help me? How can I help you? What do you need from me? And it felt like we could create that relationship right away because you just don't have a lot of time on these films to create intimacy or chemistry. I mean, it's either there or it's not. And
yeah.
it's usually there in my experience when you're dealing with someone who really takes the craft seriously and loves what they do, and does their homework, and Adelaide does all those things. So yeah, it was such a gift to work with
Right. And
her.
it works well too because as you say, I mean, there is chemistry, there's no question about it. But here you're playing this guy who has a major secret. It's a
Hmm.
biggie. It's a
Yeah,
biggie. Like,
yeah, yeah.
and she's going through her thing too because they're expecting a child and they're both conflicted, and then he's got this secret and
Hmm.
yikes,
Yeah.
like that had to hit home.
Yeah, there's whenever I work on anything, I'd like to try and figure out what the secret of a character is. That's sort of like a part of my process because I think every character has some secret, but with Simon, it is the crux of the whole thing, and the
Yeah.
secret is so massive, as you said, and And that was a big part of the work too, is, some days I was like, how dare this guy? I had a lot of judgment about it, and I had to find my way to figuring out how to make him relatable and to understand why, to understand who keeps secrets to this degree and
Right.
why, and really how it had to be not just out of fear, but out of love, wanting to take care of this woman who he loves and make sure that this family happens, and that, but it's hard because he's making a lot of decisions for her by keeping that secret. And we talked a lot about that. And again, that goes to the kind of actor that Adelaide is, and our incredible director Lindsay is. There was a really good facilitation of that, of like, who are these people? Why are they doing why they're doing? Oh, how does that come up in the scene? How much do we show of the secret? Like, we're in a scene with these
Yeah,
two. She can't know about it, but the audience have to pick up on it. There's a lot of very subtle nuances that are hard. They're really hard, especially when you don't have a lot of time and money on a set.
for sure.
You have to be with really great people who are all on the same page, and you just sometimes you get lucky, and I think in this case we got really lucky.
Yeah. Are you a good secret keeper?
The older I get, the less good I am at it. I think in my 20s I kept great secrets, but no, I'm as I get older, I try and rid myself as many secrets as possible.
Yeah, yeah, don't I
They
know it for
become
sure.
hard to they become hard to balance all of them. And who am I keeping a secret? So no, no, no. I think it's better to be an open
Yeah,
book now.
I agree. And then another element of the key part of the film is the swear jar. They want to be respectful and they want to bring up this child without hearing swearing. Okay, are you a swearing guy? Or like,
No, I'm
no?
I'm not really a swearing guy, but I mean I relate to the challenge of going, oh my God, like, especially with our first daughter, with Aurora, it was like, we're not ready. Like, I think we're not ready to be parent. We're not, I can
Right.
hardly take care of myself. I can't take the garbage out once a week. You expect me to raise a kid. So, I think there was certainly a lot I related to on that level of just who are we as parents? Are we ready to do this? How dare we think we know what it is to raise a child, but
Right.
also the gift of that. And I think the film captures that so beautifully,
Yeah.
that it transforms you. And
Yeah. Who is ever ready though? Like
yeah,
when
no
you're
one's
first
ready.
starting
No
out
one's
and you just do it and you learn and you make mistakes, but that's okay.
That's the whole point. Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as you can learn from those mistakes and grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Look, you are such a busy guy. We love you here in Toronto, of course, and well, Canada loves you, of course. But
Thank you.
I gotta mention your recent stage revival being in Take Me Out because
Mm,
I wish I could have seen that performance. I have seen the play here in Toronto, and it's a great show. And you had so much time to kind of sit with it because of COVID, obviously, and everything.
right.
Does it ever get easy to be naked on stage?
No. You know, it was no, it doesn't get easy. Especially like there are some people that I think kind of get a kick out of it, maybe have a little bit of an exhibitionist streak. I do not. I don't have that at all.
Oh, who? Spill the
I
beans.
like I like to be clothed.
Yeah,
Um, but it was such a again, it's the writing. It's like you can do anything when you're a part of something that you really believe in. And
yeah,
if the nudity in that play had ever felt uh like it didn't have a purpose, like if it was just there to be titillating,
right.
then I don't think I ever would have done the play. But if I'd found myself in that situation and it was just titillating, I would have probably been much more uncomfortable. But it's such integral part of what that play is about. Like it is it
100%.
and it's in that scene specifically that we're referencing, which is a shower scene with six guys from this
Yeah,
baseball team. The whole point of it is that it's unsexualized, that it's desexualized, that it
exactly.
is like, here's nudity, but it is just nudity. It is
Yeah,
not guys looking at each other. It's not like, oh, it's the whole thing my character Kippy was speaking about in the shower is, look at this. We can't even be naked with each other because somebody has made the decision to come out on our team, and that's made us all uncomfortable. And what does that mean? So it was such a beautiful message and so expertly crafted by the writer Richard Greenberg
yeah,
that over that on the best days, that's you're going out and you're like, well, that's what I get to do today, and the nudity becomes sort of inconsequential to it. You also have to kind of just it's so weird and so sort of a nightmare to be naked in front of 600 strangers a night that you
I
kind of
guess, yeah.
just step out of your brain for the 7 minutes that it happens.
Yeah.
Certain nights, but it's weird. Some nights it would hit you hard, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to do this. Strangely, it was when you know people in the audience,
I was
like
just
when
gonna
your
say that.
friends and
I was,
family are there. If
yeah,
it's strangers, it's fine. It's when
yeah,
you have friends that are there that it's not as fun. But
yeah,
it was such a gift to be a part of that. And
yeah.
so if
And what a
that's the
great
price of
cast.
admission,
What a
yeah,
great
incredible.
cast. Like
Yeah,
amazing
incredible.
guys
Yeah.
in that play.
Who are all still so close to this day. I think we made lifelong friendships doing that. So it was a
Yeah.
gift. Yeah.
Amazing. And can't not talk about Suits because you spent so many years making that show here. Do you still walk
Hmm.
down the street and people, because even with COVID, like new people were finding it on streaming, so you're
Hmm.
always getting new fans from a show that you made
Totally.
so many years ago. It's weird.
Yeah, and especially in Toronto, it's nice to be in Toronto. It's nice to be anywhere in the world and be recognized and have people, and that still happens, come up to you and say how much they love the show. But Toronto, because we shot it there, has such a like connection to it, I think.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
even in a way where people might not even know we shot it there, but all the actors, we were all there for years and years and years, and so there's an ownership that Toronto has over that show. I think that
Yes, we do.
is very,
Yeah.
very special. And I enjoy that being from Toronto, obviously, that I
Yeah.
got to return home to shoot the show. So um, it's a different energy in Toronto. And I was just in Montreal shooting something for the CBC, and it was very similar, like a different kind of Canadian response to the show, and maybe to me being a Canadian, that I just think is such a gift.
Yeah.
To have had the sort of major job in my life be somewhat uniquely attached to having
Yeah,
shot
it's
in Canada.
great. Yeah, yeah, it's a great, great series. There's no question about it. So what else
Yeah.
can we look forward to seeing you? And you're always busy, like A League of Their Own. Like, my God, you do not stop. When do you take a break?
I'm trying to not stop, make hay while the sun's shining. Yeah, I just spent 3 months in Montreal shooting a limited series for the CBC called Plan B, which I think is coming out in February.
Yeah,
And I'm going back up to Montreal in a couple of weeks actually to finish that. And then I'm going to take a bit of a break for the rest of the year. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that turns out. Again, I'm really passionate about working in Canada, and sometimes when you move to Los Angeles and where I live now, you sort of people just sort of assume you're done with you're not available in Canada. And so I constantly want to remind people up there, like, I love working in Canada. I want to work with Canadian filmmakers and writers. I think such
that's great.
amazing stuff comes out of that country, and I'm proud to be a part of whatever I can. And that was a huge impetus to being a part of the Swearing Jar, and hopefully things will continue to come out of that.
Yeah, I hope so too. And just to wrap it up, we saw your lovely wife. She got to play Celebrity Jeopardy. Now, are
I
you a Jeopardy
know.
fan? Like, did you help her with
Huge,
with the
huge.
questions and things? Like just
You
practice?
can't, that's the hard part. You can't, there's no practicing for Jeopardy because you have no idea what they're going to ask you, right? So it's totally random. So you can't really do
Yeah.
anything but watch episodes of Jeopardy and get a fake clicker in your hand and just start doing this.
I
She
would
was
think that's the
amazing.
hardest part, getting that
It is.
clicker.
It
Yeah,
is. It is.
yeah,
That the timing of that is it, like answering the questions is sort of not the thing at all, apparently. Getting the timing of this right in comparison to what other people are doing is the
crazy.
whole ball of wax. But she did great. We watched it last night. I was so proud of her. And
Yeah, she
of course she
did. She
said she
did.
was so nervous the whole time, but I couldn't see it at all. I thought she did great.
Oh, listen, she had great competitors
Yeah.
too. Look, I mean, and
Yeah.
Hassan, like, oh my God, keep a straight
Yeah.
face.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly,
well,
exactly. And she was crushing it. She'll even say she was doing so well until she forgot to say what is. I think it was Greek was
yeah.
the answer. She forgot to do the lead in, and she said that messed up her brain. Like after she screwed that up, she got trigger shy. And
Yeah. See, it's so
but
easy
even
for
then
us
she
to
was doing
watch from
great.
home, right? Like,
Oh
we think
God.
we're all experts from our armchair. Yeah. Yeah.
So nerve-wracking. So nerve-wracking. Yeah, I was proud of
Well,
her.
she did great. That's amazing. Listen, congratulations to you on everything. I always love speaking with you. And, we look forward to having you back in Toronto, well, now that the weather's
Yep.
getting crappy, but maybe in the summer,
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
family.
Yeah, we're looking forward to being up there. Thanks, Bonnie. I
And
appreciate it.
thank you. And yeah, the swearing jar is great. You did a great job in it. So thanks so much for your time. I
Really
really
appreciate it.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Bonnie. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye bye. Thanks.
Bye bye.